Have you ever lain in bed, eyes closed, but your mind was filled with hundreds of voices, each question leading to another, as if you were trapped in a maze with no exit? Perhaps you've been thinking too much, until exhaustion. But have you ever wondered, does a river ever worry about where it will flow? Once upon a time, there was a young man living in a small village. He was hardworking and intelligent, but he carried a habit that made life heavy. He always thought too much. Whenever something happened, even just a careless word from someone, or a small decision at work, he would dwell on it for hours, sometimes losing sleep through the night. He worried about what had not yet come, and regretted what had already passed. One evening, after a long and tiring day, he wandered out of the village. The moon was bright, the breeze was cool, and he found himself standing before a strange river. The water flowed gently, reflecting the moonlight like a giant mirror. He sat down on the grass by the bank, sighing, "I wish my mind could be as peaceful as that water." Suddenly, the river hummed with a calm, deep voice. "Why do you humans make yourselves suffer with endless thoughts?" The young man was startled. He had never heard a river speak before. The young man asked nervously, Who are you? How can you even speak?" The river chuckled softly, its ripples like whispers. "I am simply myself, a river. But I have flowed through countless seasons, hearing the worries of many who sat upon my banks. I know you are weary from endless thinking." The young man bowed his head, confessing, "It's true. I keep thinking about work, about the future, about past mistakes. The more I think, the more lost I feel. How can you keep flowing without worrying about getting stuck among rocks or drying up under the summer sun?" The river sang long, moonlight shattering across its surface. "I have never tried to control every stone, every blade of grass, every log in my way. I only do one thing. I flow, and then I always find my way back to the sea. But you humans, you want to calculate every turn. Instead of letting life flow, you strain yourselves fighting against it." The young man fell silent. For the first time he wondered, perhaps he had lost the simplicity of a stream's flow. The river lapped gently against the shore, whispering like a teacher. "You know, the human mind is like a pond. When you stir it constantly, the water turns muddy, and you cannot see the bottom. But if you leave it still, the surface clears on its own, and everything becomes visible." The young man gazed at the river's surface, moonlight shimmering, luminous yet calm. "So, what must I do to stop thinking?" he asked. The river chuckled softly. "It is not about stopping thought. Thinking is human nature, just as flowing is mine. But the difference is this: you drown in every whirlpool, while I let each swirl fade away. The more you struggle, the deeper you sink. The more you let go, the farther the current carries you." "But if I let go, won't I lose my direction?" the young man asked, troubled. "You don't need to know every turn ahead. As for me, I only flow forward, moment by moment. A mountain blocks me, I weave through. A rock obstructs me, I curve around. And in the end, the sea is always there, waiting for me." Peace does not come from controlling everything, but from trusting that a path is opening, even when you cannot see it yet. The young man was silent. In that moment, he felt a strange lightness, as if his thoughts were drifting away with the water, little by little. Do you realize that life today is no different from the stones at the bottom of a river? Deadlines piling up, unanswered emails, messages pouring in, money, family responsibilities, endless comparisons on social media. All of it makes your mind spin, never at rest. We believe that the more we think, the more control we gain. But in truth, Overthinking only makes everything messier, like trying to turn every stone beneath the river, only making the water murkier. Instead, try something simple. Pause for a few minutes, take a deep breath. Write your worries down and leave them on the page. Like the river, let life flow, instead of clinging to every tiny detail. Peace is not about erasing every thought, but about giving your mind some space to breathe. In that quiet space, you will see what truly matters in your life.
In that dream, the young man quietly stepped into the river. At first, he was afraid, thinking he would be swept away or sink to the bottom. But something strange happened. The water lifted him up, gently, like a mother's embrace. He floated lightly, letting himself drift with the current. In that moment, his heavy mind suddenly became clear. He realized, peace does not come from controlling everything, but from the moment you dare to let go. When he awoke, the young man still heard the echo of the river's voice. The river never overthinks, yet it always finds its way to the sea. From that day on, he practiced letting go, no longer trying to turn every stone in his life. And gradually, he discovered the peace he had always lost. Perhaps you too need to release a few things, to let life flow naturally, to give your mind space to rest. If this story touched you, share it with someone who needs it. And don't forget to subscribe. Life Motivation Tales, to journey together through more healing stories.